friends. Welcome to the Manifesting Money Podcast. I am super happy and grateful for my guest today. And I'm very grateful that we are now talking all things abundance and mindset. Mike, I just gave you a really good intro, but my first real question for you is, what are you celebrating today?
Today, I am celebrating life. We're celebrating life, baby. I'm super excited to be on this podcast with you. Been seeing your TikToks, just been yelling at me. You actually got me very, very inspired to actually take action on my first e-course coming out, and I cannot thank you enough for it. So it's a blessing to be here right now.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier too. I feel like this is going to be such a conversation because there's just so many things that I want to tell you too, and I know we need to record. Is that we were talking about that earlier of like how, when I made that video, it was like I just had so much resistance about making it, and then I was like, okay, ego, get out of the way. I need to post this. And then I had so many people like yourself, like just tell me the same thing of like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that I could just do that, and I've been, thinking so much.
Yeah.
And so it makes me happy that I posted it.
Yeah, I was just like looking at it, and for months, me and my partner were trying to like figure out the best way to do this, and like how we were going to film and how we were going to do all this. And then, like in the video, you literally just made it so simple. You were just like, hey, here, just do these things. And I went and just did those things. And now it's like, hey, it's all here. So it's so crazy. And, like that platform is awesome. It really is. It's absolutely amazing.
Right? I get so excited about it. Like everybody calls me like the TikTok girl. And I'm like, guys, there's just so many people on TikTok that it's like, I don't know. It's just fun. Yeah. But I wanted to start off with some rapid fire questions. So these are questions so I can get to know you a little bit. An audience gets to know you a little bit. The first question is super, super easy. Where are you from?
So originally from York, Pennsylvania. I grew up in Red Lion, PA, small farm town. Went to college in Indiana University of Pennsylvania, right outside of Pittsburgh. Moved to San Diego in 2017 to pursue modeling and acting. Got into all of that out there. And, that really, really led me into, personal development and spirituality, which inevitably got me to here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so funny because this is literally hilarious. This has been happening so much to me. But like, I remember when I first seen your videos, I seen that you're in San Diego and I freaked out. I was so excited. I don't think I ever reached out to you though.
You should have.
I know.
When I was like really, really going through like my spiritual awakening, and I was going through all of like these things like, oh my God, like my life is like falling apart. I was like, I need to find some type of community. And that's honestly why I went to TikTok. Even before I started posting on TikTok, I was watching people on TikTok. I'm like, oh my gosh, these same people are doing they're going through the same exact thing that I am. Like, I'm not crazy. And I'm like, where are all these people in San Diego? I need to find them.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. That's one of the things that I tell my clients the most is that you have to find people who are doing whatever it is that you want to do. And a lot of times we think we're local crazy or whatever. I think just California in general, people are like, I like to say they're woke here.
Yeah, no, they are. Like even going back to like my hometown, like the type of things that kind of come out of my mouth, people are like, you're absolutely crazy. Like you're so like that Western side, like the I guess like more progressive type side. But there's also like a very big spiritual community, woke community in California.
Yeah,
I feel like people are just so much more open-minded on the West Coast. You know what I mean? But I mean, whatever. East Coast is very, very like traditional and stuff, and it has its place. But we can be the woke kids.
Yeah, but I like how you said that you didn't have the people in your actual immediate like energy, so that you found them on TikTok. So guys, take mental note of that because that is here.
Seriously,
like
and
I'm listening to this.
Yeah, like the honestly, like so many people are like, oh, social media is, like it rots your brain. It's all negative. It's all this stuff. But like, if you position and you like focus into the right content and like the right content and interact with the right content, your feed is going to bring up spiritual TikTok and being personal development TikTok and like all of these things that will actually, help you and advance your career, your overall health, your mental health, everything. It's just staying away from that, negative bullshit pretty much on social media.
Yeah. And I also don't feed into the negative comments. Like when I first seen it, I used to like kind of be like, I used to try to say stuff like, or people who didn't believe in it or stuff like that, those type of people. And you're like, well, this is why you should believe in it. But it takes so much more energy trying to convince people. And I'm like, I'm so done with that.
Yeah. I've learned like the biggest thing for me is to like feed the people that want to be fed type thing. Like those people will help lift up your, like your belief in it. And they're going to, feel something from it. You can't, you don't want to just be throwing stuff at a wall, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a very popular phrase that I hear. Like, does that make sense? And I'm like, yeah, we're literally speaking the same language.
Yeah.
Okay. My second rapid fire question. Oh, if you guys are watching on YouTube, look at right here. It's 222.
Let's go.
But okay. My second rapid fire question is, what is your favorite book?
My favorite book. Oh, this is awesome. I love it. The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. It is what took my my manifestation practices to the next level. It took it took my life to the next level. Honestly, like even in the beginning when I was learning about law of attraction and manifestation and spirituality and stuff like that, like in the beginning parts of my spiritual journey, I wasn't really getting like a ton of, results from it because I just genuinely didn't really understand it that well. But once I read that, and he talks about assuming the wish fulfilled. And at this time I was, I was trying to build this modeling career and I was like, this is not working like whatsoever. And he was like, you can't think from your goal. You have to think in your goal. You have to embody the person that would have that life. Like you have to feel as if you are that person. You have to think as if you are that person. You have to walk as if, like, it's a practice every day. And that's what completely changes your energy. And that's what manifests into reality. And the book completely just shifted my life. And I started like the practices, and that's, like when I got signed to the agencies, it's when I, things started, moving, like getting the bookings and all that stuff. And I can't say more better things about that book. Like The Power of Awareness, Neville Goddard, 100%. Yeah.
Kathleen always talks about that book too. She's the one that put me on it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Kathleen's work is awesome too. Like she's amazing.
So my third rapid fire question is for you is what's the first time you invested into yourself? What was it and how much was it?
The first time I invested in myself was a Grant Cardone real estate course. And I didn't use it one bit, but it was $1,000. Yeah, I know, but it was $1,000. And I was a very big shiny object syndrome type guy. So I was always like, I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do this, but I was never, taking action. But 100%, like, I feel there needs to be an investment in yourself. In whatever you're trying to do, like you need to have that investment in yourself 100%. Otherwise, like you're not going to be pulled to do it. You know what I mean? Like that holds such a weight for when, you're trying to get yourself to do something. So 100%, like the first money you should ever be spending is, on yourself, investing in, your knowledge on, how to make your life better type deal.
Yeah, I love asking that question. Notice how I didn't ask if you've invested into yourself. I said, when did you? Because I know everybody who's on this path, this ship, there's like an invisible line that's like people who've invested into themselves and people who haven't,
You can tell it like with communication skills, with being able to network with, in business, in relationship, just how people are talking. You can tell like, hey, that person is, he's growing. He's still continuing to grow. And I mean, yeah, you will have friends that don't necessarily do that. But I mean, as you progress in your life, as you get healthier, smarter, lead the path that you want to lead, there is going to be people that kind of like fall off. And that's unfortunately what happens. But I mean, the greatest path I think that anybody can ever take is just like progressing and, you know, doing what they want to do and investing in themselves, whether it is, you know, going to the gym or buying a book or buying a course or whatever, buying a coach, like whatever it may be, like just progress and invest in yourself at all times.
Yes. It's just like, that's why I tell my clients too. I'm like, it's so much easier when you start your money mindset now, because it never stops. Like you'll be investing into like, you know, yourself, and then there's buying a house, and then there's getting a studio, and then there's just all these little things that just like one thing after another, like it literally never stops.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is really tough, especially like going through like these younger, not like younger, but like 20s where you're trying to figure it out. Cause I mean, school doesn't really teach you that much about money. So you're just like, all right, who do I listen to? What do I do? How do I figure out money? And it's like, all right, I can focus in on making it and being good with it, or I can completely ignore it. And I mean, there's a lot of people that want to ignore it, but being able to figure it out and stuff, oh my gosh, like it's huge, especially in those middle 20 years, you know, hopefully earlier, but.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
It's there's such a huge shift. So all the people who are in their early 20s right now, or you're like teens and you're listening to this, you're quantum leaping.
Yeah, sure.
So you're doing some really, really cool things now, right? You're obviously trending on TikTok and you're teaching about manifestation. You're really embodying this new version of yourself. But I'm very curious. Wait, what was your original plan? Was it always to, I mean, coach maybe in general?
Yeah. So I was not a very liked human being in not so much high school, but more of college. I was like, I went to college. I wanted to completely, you know, like reinvent myself, because like I was the fat kid in high school. I was just like a bigger dude. I wasn't comfortable in my body. I was like really insecure. And I went to college and I just tried getting all of this like recognition, I guess you would say. Like I was just trying to fulfill something that I didn't have. And that turned into, you know, me, you know, acting out and just doing dumb stuff and getting into trouble, you know, and then there came like the drinking and the drugs, and, you know, like I was like a frat dude. So it was like, it was the lifestyle there. I didn't know if I was going to graduate college whatsoever. You know, my girlfriend, when I officially started dating my girlfriend, or I guess a couple months before, I was like, okay, this girl's way out of my league. So I need to get my act together and make her believe like I'm like this other dude. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to date this girl. And I was just like, there was just like an infatuation almost, because it was like the hottest girl I ever talked to. So I was like, okay, so this is my goal. This is my goal. I'm going to impress this chick. And that's kind of when I started getting my act together, but I was still, you know, going into like the party phase or still in the party phase and drugs and all that stuff. And once I got out of college, I was going to be a personal trainer. And I was just like, dude, I'm miserable doing this. Like, I love helping people and I love like working with people. But I don't want to be in a gym for 12 hours a day and, you know, just like eating out of a lunchbox and just like this whole thing. I'm like, I'm just not invested in this. And so we moved to San Diego, and in 2017, and I started modeling, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a model. I'm going to be an actor. And that's kind of, you know, when I started the personal development stuff, because I went through like the deepest depression because my identity was being taken from me. Like I wasn't successful in what I was trying to do. And I'm like, I keep talking, you know, all of this nonsense to people that I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but I'm not doing it. And my ego was being tarnished. And it was like that dark night of the soul, like, okay, you can go this way and just continue down this path of like just mediocrity that you wanted, or that you're going down right now, or you can shift and build yourself and go a different direction and actually do the shit that you want to get done. That's when I got into personal development. That's when I learned that whatever you're telling yourself is coming true pretty much. And that's when I started meditating a ton, like a fuck ton. Just because I was like, I need to clear these thoughts out of my head. And then once I realized like, oh, who's the person thinking these thoughts? That's kind of when like the whole circle of like consciousness and stuff started, you know, unraveling for me. And then that's kind of when I started talking. I was like, oh my gosh, like this spiritual stuff, it changed my life. And that's when all of the successes started coming. So I'm like, okay, I can only blame it on spirituality, on consciousness, on learning and developing like your inner self. And that's really when everything kind of came to fruition, I guess. Long story short.
Oh no, I love that. It's like not long enough for me. I love hearing these stories. This is my favorite part of the process because, you know, everybody goes through the same shift and it's fun to see how it happens for other people. But I think the most interesting part about what you said is that it destroyed you because your identity, your ego is telling you that you're a failure. You know, you didn't complete the things that you said that you're going to do. And, you know, a lot of people are in that right now. So what would you tell the person who's like in that position where they're like, right where all the gold is, but they're just like, I always talk about that meme where they're like they're digging and it's like right there, but they just need to go a little bit further. But what would you tell that person? Yeah.
So the biggest thing that I tell absolutely anybody is wherever your focus is going, your energy is flowing. Where focus goes, energy flows. The reason why most people are so stuck is because they keep telling themselves that they are stuck. They are telling themselves this narrative about their life, like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I'm lazy. Oh, any type of self-doubt issue that doesn't get them off the couch to go into action. But the second you start telling yourself, hey, I am taking action. I am working hard. I am persistent. I am focusing into where I want to focus into instead of focusing into those negative self-talk habits or those negative self-talk thoughts. That is when you're going to start moving. There's been so many times where I've been telling myself in my head, you're not working hard enough. You're not working hard enough. You're not working hard enough. I know there's a lot of people that have those thoughts in their mind as well. Like these people who, you know, want to create a lot or want to build a business or want to build courses or want to do whatever. They're like, I'm not working hard enough. I'm not working hard enough. And that's where that burnout comes from, because you're telling yourself, I'm not working hard. What is that narrative feeding you? Negative energy. It's like, you're not getting anywhere. But when you focus into how you do want to feel, how you do want to think about yourself, like, oh my gosh, I'm doing a great job today. Hey, I may not have gotten, everything I got done yesterday, today, but you know what? I'm still cruising. I'm still working hard. I'm still getting at it. I'm still practicing my craft. I'm still, moving with intention. And that's the thing, like, so much about like the action part isn't even necessary. It's 1,000 times more about how you're thinking about yourself and how you're thinking about your life. You know what I mean? Like the narrative that is going on in your head 100% is coming true. Like that is the biggest thing in the world for me.
Oh, and that really ties into self-image.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It really, really is.
I love how you talk about this because, I either work with one person, the person who's either struggling to get started, or there's the person who makes a lot of money and they just get stuck in this vicious cycle where they're like, I can't stop working or else I won't make the money anymore. And it's because they've seen that for so long that becomes the truth. And so I love that you're talking about working out of scarcity.
Yeah, it is. Like it really, really is. I mean, that's something that I really had to learn as well, like how to separate like like I can make money, but when I'm working versus, hey, I'm able to make money just passively. I'm able to just like have abundance everywhere and bring it in whenever, instead of, trying to be like, okay, I need to do this. 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 And just for me to feel worthy or me to feel fulfilled. You know what I mean? It's a very, very hard thing, I feel like, for most people.
So
because we've been taught forever about like that's how it works. You know what I mean? But it's further from the truth, especially nowadays.
Yeah. It's like, it's taught unconsciously too. Like your parents are all working all day. And so even though they're not saying you have to work super hard, it's what your subconscious mind is believing because it's what you see. Exactly. So, but I'm very curious. Okay. Because I know that I have my manifestation stories where I was like, holy shit, this stuff works. My thought creates my reality. But I want to know what that moment was for you.
Okay, so this is the craziest story, and I love telling this story because, especially to girls, because it's like it blows their mind. So I was one of the awesome jobs I got to be a part of in December last year was "Don't Worry, Darling" with Harry Styles, Chris Pine. It's a movie that's actually coming out on the 22nd, 222, actually.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's 9/22/22 or 2022. But during it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna script out what I want, like certain things I want to feel before this, like during this movie, because when I first got books for it, I was like, I'm terrified. That was like my first like acting type thing. It was just background stuff, but it was still like acting and like being on set and stuff like that. And that was probably the biggest thing that I was doing at that point. And I was super nervous once I realized like fucking Harry Styles, like that's so, that's what I'm saying. Like so sick. And one of the things that I put was I want to have a conversation with one of the main people. Somehow I want to like bump into them and then like spark a conversation or do something. And I ended up somehow, like on the third day, ended up in a circle with Harry Styles and like two other people. And like I manifested a conversation. And I'm like, I cannot believe what's happening right in front of my face right now. Like, this is the craziest moment. I'm like, this is so real. This is how it works. This is how life works. And I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever experienced. It was so nuts. I remember it so vividly to this day. I'm like, how is this happening right now in front of my face? I wrote this down. Like, it was so crazy. It was so nuts.
That is so cool.
So great. It's so crazy.
I can't believe that this is happening right now. I feel like every time that I've manifested something like that it's like, is this really life right now?
Yeah, it is. It's so weird. You're just like, you look at it and you're just like, no, like, no way. So crazy. You feel like almost goofy because you're just like, maybe I shouldn't be getting super, super excited about this because this is like normal for other people. But like this, I thought this first. Like it's so crazy. Like it blows your own mind, really. It's funny.
Oh, I love it. Yes. Okay. So that was your initial, my thoughts create my reality.
Yeah. And that was my
so you're going through the shift, right? You're starting your, and what happened after that?
Man, so that's really when I started like getting on TikTok and talking about it. Cause I was still in that phase of like, one, I don't like talking on camera because I felt like I was like really goofy. And I also felt like I didn't know what I was talking about yet, but
wow.
I know. Like that was a huge, like, limiting belief I had, which is so crazy because this all manifested, like, you know, that saying, like, on the other side of your fears is like the coolest shit in the world. Well, like this, me talking to the camera turned into like TikTok and like what I'm doing on TikTok. And I'm like, this really did turn into the craziest thing on the other side of one of my biggest fears of like talking to people, talking in front of people. Cause I'm a super big like introvert. Like I stay to myself a lot, but like I absolutely love being able to share with, you know, the world, this type of stuff. And it was like a really, really tough thing for me to get into. But the thoughts create the reality thing. Once I really solidified that, I was like, okay, well, if this is real, then I can just reprogram absolutely everything that I think about myself. And I'm going to start just repeating it. I was putting stuff on note cards. I was just repeating it day after day to myself, and it started to manifest and it started just to like move. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy.
Yes. Okay. I love how you're talking about reprogramming your mind, because that was my next question I wanted to get into. So what were the most effective ways for you when you're going through the shift to reprogram your subconscious mind? And can you also give your version of what reprogramming your subconscious mind even means? Because I know people hear me say that a lot, but I really want them to hear other people's perspectives.
Yeah. So pretty much as far as reprogramming belief, so anything we believe to be true is just a thought repeated, affirmed, repeated, affirmed, repeated. It's just you solidifying whatever thoughts that you want in your life. So if you put your focus into any thought and keep focusing into it, it will become your reality. That's just how the eternal consciousness works. Like whatever you're putting your focus into is going to expand. Now, once you see that in your reality, you see that as a belief. Like that is your belief. So reprogramming is putting new thoughts and new things in front of your face, new content in front of your face that you begin to affirm as true. How do you affirm it as true? You look at it every single day. You believe what is being said. Like, and obviously this is very easy. Like when you like are reading a book from someone who's a multi-millionaire and they're giving you advice, you're like, okay, I'm going to listen to this guy. Like it's super, super simple. Just follow the footsteps of the people that are successful, the people that have, you know, the things you want, the people that have the relationship you want, the people that have whatever. Putting their beliefs and reprogramming your mind with the beliefs of the people that are doing what you're doing is just going to put you in that exact same spot. You know what I mean? Our entire reality is just solely based on our belief systems and how we believe the world to be true. If you think the world is, you know, out to get you and money's hard and things are scarce and there's a lot of fear in your life, you're going to see that in your external reality. If you, you know, focus on the abundance, if you're grateful, you know, all the time, if you're, you know, appreciative of the people around you and the experiences in your life and just your life in general, more things are going to flow to you because that's the vibration that you're giving off. You know what I mean? And that gets into vibration. But the programming, it's like, I would literally have like 5 or 6 note cards and just be like, I am successful. I am a top model. I am signed to whatever. I have this many followers on TikTok. I have a coaching, like, and as I was molding myself into that is my belief system, that is who I am, that is when the inspired action comes. And I feel like a lot of people take action before they believe anything to be true. And that's why they get defeated. That's why they're like, oh, this isn't for me. Well, no, you just didn't believe it for you to be you before you took that action. You know what I mean? You kind of set yourself up for failure. So having that belief prior to taking any action is like the most essential, you know, part of it. You know what I mean? But it's really a lot of repetition, keeping the content in front of you, keeping, you know, your focus in on what you do want rather than the other end of the stick, which is, you know, all of the things that, you know, are killing you internally, you know, with your self-doubt, with the negative and stuff like that. Like it's 2 ends of the sticks. It's the having of it and the lack thereof. Do you want to focus on the having of it or do you want to focus on not having? And it's really as simple as that.
Oh, I love it. This is my favorite conversation ever. You know, one of the most amazing things that you're talking about is the vibration. I wanted to get into the vibration of it because I know that you talk about this on your TikTok a lot too. And so again, the law of attraction we know is like what we focus on, we create more of. But vibration, could you break that down for us? What does that mean?
For sure. Okay. So everything's made up of energy. Okay. Absolutely everything. We don't necessarily attract just what we think about. Yes, that does come into play. We attract who we are. We attract what we are. Okay. So for me, like, and like, I'm not trying to like do the me thing, but like, it's just the easiest way to explain it. Cause I try to explain it through my experience because I can only teach through what I'm experiencing. For me, when I felt as if I was a model, that's when the jobs came. When I felt as if I was a good boyfriend, that's when me and my girlfriend's relationship went 10x. You know, when I feel that I am doing good and talking well with people and coaching people well, that is when the feedback comes of, hey, you were really present in our meeting. I really appreciate that. It's those things of you have to feel as if you are, you know, the person that you want to become. You know what I mean? Like the main reason why any of us want absolutely anything is to feel good. Why do you want a new car? To feel the feeling of that new car. Why do you want new clothes, new house, new anything, new relationships? Not even just material, like relationships. Why do you want confidence? You want to feel that feeling that thing gives you. So if you practice that vibration and emotion and vibration are the exact same thing. It is how your body is vibrating, it's how your body is talking, if that makes sense. Okay. So your thoughts are the language of your brain. Your vibration, your emotions are the language of your body. However you are vibrating on a consistent basis is what you are getting out of life. So again, that's why everyone's like, hey, be grateful, love what you're doing, love yourself, love other people. It's because those are higher vibrational frequencies. Those higher vibrational frequencies, those make you into a magnet of good, for good. Lower vibrational frequencies, focusing in on the hate, on the negative, on the self-doubt, on the loathing, on the depression, that is, you are building that negative ball of energy around you. You are in those lower vibrational, areas, if that makes sense. So it really is such an internal job to focus on how are you feeling. And the biggest thing is your thoughts are what is creating that vibration. So it all starts with your thoughts. Okay. So when you are thinking good thoughts, when you're thinking positive thoughts, your emotion, your vibration is going to be more uplifted. Because your emotion and vibration is going to be uplifted, that is going to attract more thoughts. That may be to attract, or it might attract, a thought of, hey, I got to go call this person, which will lead to this, which will lead to this, which will lead to some money, which will lead to, there's, things that come up when you're staying up here that come into your head, and they're completely different than when you're in a low vibration. You know what I mean? So it's that you just have different impulses, you have different actions. So staying in that higher vibration, it's like the greatest thing you could do for yourself, really. Like I feel like everybody is solely responsible for their emotion, and that's it. Like if you can handle your emotion, then you'll be a vibrational match to all that is good.
I love it. Like, okay, I remembered what I was going to point out earlier because I mentioned it again. But one of the things that really stuck out to me, what you said, is to be it before you take on it, to really believe that that you are that person, that is a model, that is whatever it is that you're manifesting, the coach, being it before you actually take action. So I talk a lot about masculine and feminine energy. And I think that's like the perfect example of like believing before you take action, because everything just falls out of alignment. Because if you're just taking action over and over again and you don't, right? And that's why people do the right marketing strategy structure and nothing happens, because they don't physically believe that it's possible.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like, obviously, like in the beginning of stuff, like, for example, like I'm getting into solar sales as well right now. Like I'm selling like solar panels and renewable energy and stuff like that. And I never did like cold calling or anything. And it was terrifying to me. And, there wasn't, it was one of those things that if I kept thinking of, oh, I can't do this, I've never done this, this is going to be hard, I would have never taken the action. But, because I have learned like, hey, those negative self-talks, like I'm not about that anymore. Like I need to focus on, hey, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to get to here. I'm trying to be this type of person. And that's how I know I move. It's, like you have to focus into the good stuff, even if it is, super scary. And sometimes like there's a lot of stuff that's really scary when you first start, like new careers, again, new relationships, new anything. And you just have to be on your side type deal.
Yeah. So you're talking about how your emotions is equal to your vibration, right? So if you're feeling low vibration, it's because you're thinking negative thoughts. So what would you say to the person who is constantly thinking these negative things, thinking of the things that they don't want to happen, right? And they're like, I can't get out of this funk. I can't stop thinking negative. What would you say to that person?
Well, number one, stop saying I can't do it or I can't get out of it, because that's the biggest thing. I am a huge fan of Abraham Hicks. Her teachings have changed my life completely. And she is like, when it's exactly like pushing a car down a hill and then you're at the hill expecting to stop the car. Like you've already, like you've been going in these negative thoughts for so long that it's going to take time to, completely halt them. There's no completely eradicating negative thoughts. I still get negative thoughts. It's a matter of like knowing when they pop up, responding when they pop up, or seeing them as like a trigger, if that makes sense. Not like, oh, I'm like, sensitive and like triggered, but see it in yourself, take note and be like, hey, that thought hasn't got me anywhere. I don't want to focus on that. There's nothing in that thought. It just makes me feel worse and worse. What is the opposite of that thought? She also talks about where contrast is, there's clarity. Contrast, negative thought, bad things happening, rough parts of your life. Where contrast comes, there's clarity. You could either focus on the contrast, or you could be like, okay, at this situation, what is a solution? What is the solution-based thought of this contrast? But yeah, so she talks a lot about just refocusing. And we can do that. Like, we are able to put our focus wherever we want to. It's just a matter of, hey, am I going to dwell on the negative? Am I going to dwell on these things that are killing me inside and not making me move? Or am I going to lift myself up? Am I going to talk good to myself? Even if it's not real right now, even if it's not true, am I going to just talk to myself good because I want to feel happy? I deserve to feel happy. Even if nothing's going right in my life, I deserve to feel happy because I'm alive. We're alive. Like, we deserve to feel that good feeling. So why not talk good to yourself? Why not hype yourself up? Why not be confident in whatever you can be confident in? You know what I mean? It's really just a matter of focusing, realigning with that energy that you do want to feel on a consistent basis. Because I know nobody wants to sit and dwell in that type of energy. It sucks. It's really not fun. So it's like, hey, I care more about how I feel than any truth in the entire world right now. And that's what I need to care about. I need to care about how I'm feeling, because I know what I'm feeling is attracting more of this exact same feeling.
Oh, I love it. This is beautiful. Okay. My favorite part about what you said about the negative beliefs is to, one, first stop the story that you can't stop. And then two was to be conscious and aware of the thoughts, and just like, I just love how we all talk about how we still have negative thoughts like all the time, no matter how positive you are. And a lot of people think that there's like this certain switch that happens, like where you don't have negative thoughts anymore. And it's like not true.
Yeah, it's exactly like a friend that hasn't ever brought any value to your life. And you're just like, this person brings out the worst side of me. You just learn, hey, I'm not going to entertain this anymore. I'm not going to entertain these thoughts of like, oh, I suck. I'm the worst. I'm miserable. I'm just sitting on the couch being lazy. Like, thoughts that, like, to this day, I still battle sometimes. And I'm like, hey, if you're putting focus into them, if you're battling these thoughts and you're like, no, I'm trying to hype myself up. If you keep focusing into those, you're going to stay on the couch. You're not going to get stuff done. But if you refocus and be like, hey, you're crushing it. You're doing good. You're working on it. You're working on your habits. You're figuring it out. You're doing your best. Like, you're keep on cruising. And obviously you got to push, pick yourself up, kick yourself in the ass a little bit to be like, hey, do you actually want to get this done? Or are you just saying it? That there's a lot of self-awareness that comes with it. But ultimately it's where are you putting your focus? Where are you putting your energy? Are you telling yourself you can do it, or are you beating up on yourself?
I love it. Okay. So I want to get back again to the things that you're doing now, right? Well, okay. I know that you've been blowing up on TikTok with just teaching about these things, which is completely manifested. I really feel like TikTok is the best platform to really attract the right people throughout the world. Like, Instagram's one thing, but TikTok is like world.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like there's a lot of people that can just get their message out and, get it out in a way that's not, built on, I guess there is like an algorithm for TikTok, but the organic reach is so much bigger, and, people are getting their voices heard. And it's a really, really cool thing to actually listen to people from all walks of life, talk about these same concepts, learn about manifestation. Like, there's people from TikTok that I know, like, from when I first started, watching them progressively move, even in these past like 6 to 12 months, I'm like, I'm right there with you. We're homies and I don't even know you. Like, it's so crazy.
Oh, I love it. Right. It feels like a family. It feels like your little community. And I think that's the best part, because we get to set the example that everything and anything is possible if when you reprogram your subconscious mind to believe so. And I think that's like one of the biggest things that I've personally realized with teaching other people this is that If you really, really want to teach it, you have to be it and be the example and lead by example. So I guess my question is for you, when it comes to teaching other people this material, what do you think is the hardest part about relaying it to other people and teaching them?
Well, we as manifestation coaches, self-image coaches, law of attraction coaches, spirituality, anything that has to do with like the internal job of the human being, we are telling everybody point blank period that it's your fault for your life. And that's a very, very hard thing for a lot of people to hear. But like the best part is once you take that like accountability, and once you get them to take that accountability and to believe, hey, I do control my life. My thoughts do control what I'm getting out of life. Like how I'm showing up as myself is what I'm getting out of life. Once you get them to like actually understand it and really grasp that concept and believe that, then they learn to manifest at a rapid pace. They learn to clear up all of the bad things that have happened in their life. How? Because they took complete accountability. They started believing in themselves more than blaming everything on the external. So that's the biggest thing, is like telling people like, hey, you're doing it all to yourself, pal. No matter what happened in your life, no matter like what crazy thing that may have unfortunately transpired in your life, I'm sorry. It's what you attracted. It's an energetic universe. You are attracting it. You are in vibration with it. But you can move forward. You can go this way instead of focusing on that thing from 5 years ago that you've been harping on for the past 10 years.
Yes. Oh, this is my favorite part. That is so true, because I guess I never realized of how much unconsciously we're saying that,
Yeah. I mean, it's true though. We really are the creators of our own reality. Whatever has been in our life, we have manifested. We have been in vibration with, and it's really unfortunate. And like, there's a lot of dumb stuff that has happened in my life. And it took me a lot of time to take ownership of like, hey, that was on you. That was your thing that you were a match to. And as unfortunate as it was, you could either continue to think like that, or you can move forward and not be that guy anymore, not be that person anymore. And that's really what you got to do. You got to be like, that person isn't me. That human being that was in that avatar is not me anymore. And this is the way I'm moving about my life. And you'll watch your life literally unfold right before your eyes. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh, I love this. This is my favorite. Yay. Well, I know you have a lot of fun stuff coming up, but I wanted to talk about it. Obviously, we're talking about making people conscious of that they are the creator of their own realities, right? And we're just here to give them the tools. But I know that you've been working on something super special. So yes. I guess, what is the name for it and how does it serve people?
So we have the Energy Movement. It is a company that me and my partner have founded. It is all about going inward and finding fulfillment inward rather than reaching for it externally. And the best part about it is once you do reach for internal fulfillment, all of your external world is going to be fulfilling. Like all of the things in your life is going to come to fruition for however you want it to. This specific course is self-image mastery. It goes over programming, how we were programmed, how to reprogram your life. It goes through habits and how to implement different habits in your life. It talks about the narrative that you are telling yourself. We're going to be having like 3 or 4 projects that are going to completely reshape how you are thinking about yourself, get you in alignment with how you actually want to be in life, what you actually want to feel, what you actually want to have, what you actually want to do, and implement the emotional feeling with that. So we're combining the thoughts with the feelings to get you where you want to go. It's really, really exciting. It's pretty much the missing piece to personal development. At least it was for me. I knew all the know-hows, I knew the strategies and the mindsets and stuff. And I'm like, what's not going on? Like what's not working? Why am I not, seeing results? And it's so much of the emotional standpoint of where you're at, like just on a day-to-day, what your primary vibration is. And, we'll go over all of the vibration stuff, all of the law of attraction stuff, all that good stuff in the course, but I'm really excited for it.
Who would you say that this program is for?
This is for, honestly, 25 to 35-year-old people getting out of college that are like, I have no idea what I'm trying to do. I have no idea where I'm trying to go. I have this job that I hate. I have this relationship that I don't like, whatever it may be. Somebody, who is, just trying to make their life better, trying to, again, they're stuck in that personal development rut. They're trying to get their life in order, but they haven't really figured out why it's not going right. It's really for, people just trying to progress in life.
Woo! Oh, I love it. Okay. So I'm really big on intuitive action, guys. And you know that every single person listening to this episode, especially because we just did a rebrand. I know that I said this on previous episodes, but like, I really, really mean this. Like, you're listening to this at the exact moment in your life that you're supposed to. And the more that you can be really in tune with that and really understand, it's called the Law of Oneness. Are you familiar, Mike? The Law of Oneness? Mm-hmm. Once you realize that we're all connected, every single thing in your reality is manifested at the perfect timing. So again, I'm really big on intuitive action. And the reason why I'm big on intuitive action, because if people are listening to this, they're inspired, they're motivated, and they want to do it. And then they either see the price point, or maybe they're like, no, it's not the right time. Oh, I got so much other stuff going on. I say this out in the beginning, especially on the podcast, because a lot of times we don't know how to distinguish our intuition opposed to our ego. So for the people who are listening to this, the first week that this drops, so we drop on a Tuesday, I think the October 5th, I think. Oh, October 5th.
Let's go.
So people who are listening on October 5th, all the way up until that last Friday. Let me see what the last Friday would be. On the 8th, right, if you're listening between from that time, if you guys enroll in Mike's program, please message me and my team on Instagram, and we're going to send you the Power of Awareness book.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. That book is going to change lives. Like, as I said, it's changed my life. It's changed thousands of people's lives. Like, I know a lot of, even like the speakers, like the spiritual speakers, the personal development speakers, they rant and rave about that book. It really, solidifies what people mean about, embodying the feeling of who you want to become, like embodying the feeling of how you want your life to unfold. It's changed my girlfriend's life, and she wasn't even like super spiritual. And then I got into it, and I threw her the book, and she was just like, "This is crazy." It's an awesome book. So I do appreciate it.
Woo! Yay! Awesome. We love it. Okay. So Mike, I want to thank you so much for investing your time and energy. We're obviously going to put this all over our platform. It's going to be on YouTube for you guys too. But the one thing one last question I wanted to ask you, is something that I need to do more religiously now that we have the rebrand. But the question is, if you had an extra $1 million in your bank account right now, it just dropped. It's like 3:06 where you're at. Still Thursday. You still got to do whatever it is you got to do today. The only difference is that you have $1 million in your bank account. What would you do?
I would 100% invest it all into the energy movement. I am such a believer in this cause. And the thing is, like, the greatest thing is that $1 million is going to impact everybody's life. It's going to impact everybody who gets to, take part of that course. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a firm believer that what we're teaching, this law of attraction based content, the manifestation, this energy type work is going to change the future of self-education. It's going to change the future of education as a whole. It's going to change people's lives, period. And if people can get this content, then they will literally watch their life manifest right before their eyes. I mean, like you did, like I did, like all of these people on TikTok have seen this energy work impact their lives at such a great scale. And it's not just about money. It's about, feeling good about yourself. It's walking, in comfortability in your own body, like having that self-image and having those belief systems that are working with you. You know what I mean? It's feeling good about yourself ultimately, and being able to represent that day to day, which inspires other people to feel good about themselves. You know, so that's 100%, $1 million on me.
I love it. You know, it's so funny. I would do the same thing. I'd still be doing my studio and everything, but it's like the programs that we're doing, they're changing lives, you know?
That's the thing. It's like, it's so awesome to, you know, be able to take somebody from, hey, like, I do not feel great about myself, I am really struggling in this, and seeing, you know, the progression of, you know, like doing certain like gratitude practices, doing certain affirmation practices, doing the scripting and all that stuff, and taking people through these different, you know, these different parts, and seeing, you know, amazing people on the other side. And that was them the whole time. They just needed to pull it out of themselves. You know what? They needed to become that person for themselves. So it's amazing to see, you know, the changes that we're seeing in your courses, on your TikTok. Like, I see in the comments, people love your stuff. Like, it's amazing. And you know, it's such a great thing to see in this community.
Woo! We're changing lives.
I love it.
All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the podcast. And like I said, make sure subscribe, check out the links in the bio, or check us up on. Oh wait, I didn't even get your Instagram. What's your Instagram, and where can they find you?
My Instagram and my TikTok is at Mike Mind Body. My Instagram used to be the Michael Romano. So if you guys follow me, follow at Mike Mind Body, but that one got hacked. So at Mike Mind Body on TikTok and Instagram.
It got hacked, so that way you would change to this new embodiment.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying. I'm like, it's a new start. It's a new beginning. So
yay! Awesome.
I love it.
Bye, friends.